So I'll take the next couple of minutes to quickly go over, like if you are planning to implement gamification in your work, what are the things that you need to keep in mind? So like any other process, it's plan, design, build, and optimize. These are the 4 different steps that you have to keep in mind. Plan, identify the problem, identify your audience, identify the desired behavior. What do you want the customers to do? And gamify those elements. So motivate them to do that actions. That is what you have to keep in mind. And also establish key performance indicators. What is success to you? Refine those things. Create a mission statement. These are pretty standard. So understand the playing field. What I mean by that is, do you have the skill in-house to do it, or do you need a third-party expert like Punchball or somebody whom you want to bring in to implement the solution? Calculate the return on investment. Sell it to the internal stakeholders. These are pretty standard stuff what we do with any other projects, but I think planning is very essential. Design. When it comes to design, it's important to understand what motivates your customer, going back to the first important principle. And Steve Blank is a serial entrepreneur, and he has a great course on how to build a startup on a site called todayscity.com. If you are interested in starting a business, I strongly recommend going through this course. And he says, get out of the building. That is a big statement. A lot of us try to develop tools within our 4 walls, thinking that this is the best solution. And I have done it myself in some of the gigs that I did. Where I thought this is the coolest feature, and I kept adding feature. And when it went to the market, nobody used it. So if I knew it, if I validated that on day early in the game, I would have learned a lot. So he says, if you are a founder, you have to be on the street. You have to be talking to your customer, trying to understand what he wants and trying to validate your theory is correct. And there is how many? Okay, this is the next slide is about. Okay, now you build the solution. You have to show it to your customer to understand the usability problems. Like you build this great website, you think it's cool, but people don't know what to do with the website. They don't know which link takes them to where. So research has proven that if you talk to at least 5 to 6 people, you can uncover 75% of your usability problems. So it is always good to talk to at least 5 to 6 people. And there's a great book called Running Lean by Ash Maurya, who actually talks about the various techniques that you can follow in conducting customer interviews, on problem interviews, solution interviews, and a lot of nice things about the lean methodology. It's a great book, and I strongly suggest you guys to read that. So the last thing that you want to do, as I mentioned, is design. As a part of the design is what you want them to do. This is very important. At work, we are actually doing an internal education club portal which implements all the gamification elements. And here we sit with the business on a day-to-day basis trying to design this table, because this is the whole heart and soul for your gamification experience. Define all the goals. You need to figure out what those goals are, and then you need to give them points, because each goal can be different from a points perspective. You can't give everything the same points. There has to be a relative value. And then you also have to figure out what goals are worth giving a badge out of. You don't want to give a badge for every single thing. Then it's no longer that, it's no longer people feel it's a status symbol. Everybody gets it, right? So you don't want to do that. So that's very important. And the last 2 phases, I don't go deep into that, but it's like any standard software development, right? Where you do user flow diagrams, you do wireframes, and build it. And optimize is one thing I want to stress on, though, is you established all those KPIs and all that good stuff, build some analytic tools around those to measure exactly whether you're meeting those KPIs. Most of us don't have this analytics to verify if indeed our methodologies are working. So that's very important. So KPI dashboard, cohort analysis, drop-off analysis, see where your customers are dropping off. Capture those logs and see why did they drop off. Maybe to change the design a little bit, things like that. That brings to the last question of today, which is, which phase of the product roadmap do we analyze the KPI dashboards? And if you have answered optimize, which I suppose most of you did, you're going to get 10 points for that. And also, with that, you get an apprenticing gamification badge. which is the final batch for today. There's one other giveaway. Did any one of you reach level 3? Level 3 is like 8 points. So no one is a gamer. Sorry. Okay. Open discussion. Have any questions, concerns? Actually, let's do a quick thing about today's gamification experience, right? I told you there is a reason why we clap and all that. Right? So I'll quickly ask you guys, was there fast feedback in this experience? Can you guys, right? Yes. So you were able to see exactly what the answers were immediately, right? Transparency, at least I tried to create as much as I can with this piece of paper where you exactly knew where you are, what badges you earned, things like that. But it would have been nice to see everybody else's as well, but in this context I could not do that. Goals, definitely there were goals, right? You saw the question and it told you if you answered it right, you get 10 points. And there was a leveling code as well. Badges, obviously there was their level up, that was their onboarding. Maybe a little bit, what I told you, I explained you in the beginning slide, a little bit of that. Competition, kind of, because some of you, actually, there was competition because people as they leveled up, they were earning more badges, so you were actually better off than some of your competitors. Collaboration, was there collaboration?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, where was collaboration?
One person answered.
Yes, right, when one person answered it, and actually I was planning to do a collaboration on the question which had the negative mark. I forgot to say that, but I wanted you to work with the person next to you and answer that question which had negative marking, but that's fine. The last one was community. We didn't have that, I guess. No, we did have a little bit of that, because when you guys all applauded, you are getting that 15-second fame, right? So that's the thing that I wanted you to get. And the last thing was points, which you did. Is any other, you guys want to talk about anything else? So I'll quickly wrap up, right? There is a serious mismatch between what science says and what business does. Science says extrinsic motivation factors, which are like carrot principles, I give you a sweeter carrot or a sharper cane, works well in some cases and don't work well in other cases. The intrinsic motivation, eye control, autonomy, mastery, social interaction are the ones which are required for cognitive jobs which require cognitive skills. And people who understand motivation apply gamification principles with the power of big data. Maybe, as Steve Jobs would say, can put a dent in the universe and change the world.